featured videos include. Today's bonus features include.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to episode 33 of the Supplemental Broadcast here on Alexandria Alternative Media Broadcasting, an OK Copernicus production. I'm your host, Jess, but you can call me Epitome or Burn Kid because I'm Epitome the Burn Kid. Please be sure to follow the entire archival project, hashtag YouTube Recommended Chronicles on X or Tumblr for the latest videos, music, memes, and more. Listen to the official soundtrack on SoundCloud, and if you're watching me on YouTube, please be sure to find me on Rumble should anything happen to this channel. All links discussed in today's episode can be found below in the description box, and please be sure to subscribe, like, share, follow, tell a friend and family about the many things we cover in our program and about the show. It's a good time for everybody. And a little programming note now for deeper dives on the more spiritual, esoteric side of the topics we cover, coupled with a hearty syllabus of phenomenal information in the form of more YouTube videos. Don't forget to check out my new series, Pan Panen, Pious Prophetic Ponderings. It's really good. And on to today's featured video recommendations. So, first up on today's featured recommendations, we have a fascinating snippet of history from the channel Amplex with this video filmed in 1983 titled The Soviet Defectors' Predictions Have Never Been Wrong, and the worst is in sight. That features chillingly accurate predictions about the current predicament of what happens after this decades long communist march through the institution that they've been doing since I don't know, after the Second World War, really ramping up in the 60s and 70s. While I obviously recommend you watch all our selections in full, this is one you may wish to watch more than once and share with friends. These are the receipts that will explain not only what has happened to our education system, but it will explain many of the other breakdowns seen across all major systems in our infrastructure and beyond. And this isn't just an American problem, it's affecting the vast majority of the Western world. And yeah, the receipts are coming out daily. So, our second feature today comes in from the channel Straight Up. And the video is titled, How Did America's Wealthy Elite Rewrite History? Yeah. A major theme this spring, my trusty, divinely inspired algorithmic helper, Magic 8 Ball, has brought before me is this rewriting of history. This well made feature is best described by the attached description. End quote. And I quote, the United States was supposed to be democratically run country. However, that has not been the case since the turn of the 20th century. Wealthy families in the US and in other developed countries, Europe in particular, have manipulated, appropriated, and flatly lied about world history. This video is part one of a series that will explain how this manipulation and appropriation occurred. It's going to get better with our third feature, guys. Oh yeah, guys, our show is really heating up. So buckle up. These videos are mad interesting. This season, it's really good. So yeah, in our third feature, titled "Orphan Trains Beyond the Reset War," from the channel Lucius Aurelian, we explore some seriously prevalent themes in need of evaluation so that we might avoid repeating some troubling past history hidden in plain sight. As per the description here, is where I'm going to give you a overview of this selection. And I quote, a return exploration into the orphan trains from the 1850s through 1929. This exploration considers more evidence showing there was a definitive plan to process the orphans from the Reset War of 1850. The channel proposes there were three phases of this plan that involved greater movement of the orphans and included all groups currently residing in the United States today. This selection is also part of a three-part series that I have seen and found highly informative. So if you want to kind of get a glimpse into what they're doing now, moving everybody about as they're moving everybody about, they did this at the beginning of Satan's little season at the turn of the 19th century. They started working on this stuff. I can't wait for some videos to surface about the Tatarian genocide. This is getting wild, kids. And now we got fourth on our lineup. We have a most helpful entry from supplemental broadcast regular suspicious observers titled Earth Turns Over When the Crust Unlocks. To better understand the physics and mechanics of the currently ongoing Earth disaster cycle, most specifically, the crust of the Earth unlocking and repositioning itself, resulting in continental shifts, or, I guess a dramatic, quick version of continental drift theory that coincide with the current magnetic excursion and upcoming micronova, i.e., the Great Solar Flash. This feature will assist everyone in better understanding what is fully involved in this once in an era event we are to experience in the coming decades. So definitely don't miss that. Very informative about what the powers that be are really trying to distract us from. And speaking of the powers that be and how they distract us from it, in our fifth feature, we have an entry from Trigonometry, another one of our show's favorite regulars, with this video titled "The Psychopath Expert Explains How to Spot a Psychopath," where Francis and Constantine interview Dr. Kevin Dutton. Dr. Kevin Dutton is a research psychologist, best-selling author, and elite performance consultant. His principal research interests are persuasion and social influence, the psychopathic personality, elite cognition, as though they have their own cognition, which appears to be barely, right? Black and white thinking, they're all like borderline AF, right? And how the fusion of psychology and art can enhance and support mental health. But they have chosen to sort of meld those things together and break both. Isn't that lovely? Be sure to head on over to check out the Trigonometry channel if you enjoy lively interviews on relevant topics of the now, with a little glimmer of fun and flair. And finally, we've reached our last feature of the day, which comes from the Diary of a CEO Clips channel, titled Dr. Daniel Lieberman Reveals Why Gen Z is Weaker Than Previous Generations. So, Dr. Daniel Lieberman reveals what is actually causing Gen Z and Gen Alpha to become so weak, and it's not what you think. To be sure, be sure to listen to this podcast to get a better idea on how the increasing rates of bone loss and other causes of weakness plaguing the youth of today are being caused. This is a health talk that is sure to inspire some remedies and solutions to the degrading health matters and conditions we're placed in that very much need meaningful correction. And that wraps up all of our main features, which brings us to our bonus features. I just give you guys these, but I don't give you a little ditty. I just want you to have more meat in the program, and I want you guys to learn and know more and just have more good stuff. So these are the 6 selections for today. The first one comes in from New Discourses, and that is titled China's Neoliberal Communism. Second one comes in from Tucker Carlson's channel, and it is Ron Paul. It's titled Ron Paul Predicted Today's Disasters. What's next? Next up on this list, we have a feature in from the Jimmy Dore Show titled The Left and Right Must Unite to Defeat the Oligarchy, which I thought was a no-brainer a decade ago, but apparently it really wasn't. Then we have Exposed. The Pentagon is lying about veteran suicides, and that is a must-watch feature. They do not disclose the true dangers of the job, especially the cancer rates working with certain bits of equipment. Be sure to check that one out, especially if you have a veteran in your family. My husband's a veteran, so. And fifth we have Nephilim Technology just created hybrid sheep, humans, and soon mammoths. And that comes in from the Daily Renegade channel. And our last one comes in from the channel called Unite the Collective, and it's titled Ascension Symptoms New World Being Created Morning Coffee with Ryan. And that's a nice little talk. If you're feeling stuff as there's a solar weather, kind of like I mentioned at the beginning of most shows, I'm actually recording this during a CME right now. So bear with me. I'm getting tougher as I make it through this evolutionary journey. And that wraps up all of our bonus features, which brings me to my favorite part of today's show, which is my auspicious op-ed, where I've composed some words for everyone that are very meaningful. And I think you might want to think about it. I really hope it inspires you guys, and I hope it especially inspires you guys to speak up about what you think matters and voice you got to be the change you want to see in this world. That's not just a hokey Gandhi quote. You actually have to be it. So let's do it. Gonna say some words. All right. I had to take a little break and rest, but boy, did things accelerate while I was taking some downtime to immerse myself in some very much needed study and spiritual practice. It would appear that in the past couple weeks, that Magic 8 Ball has brought me a surge of videos pertaining to the end of religion as we know it, combined with a sprinkling of the other institutions the vast majority of contemporary civilizations rely upon for some semblance of structure and purpose, like history, science, medicine, government, trade, and finance. I know it may seem a touch too soon, possibly misunderstood as a twinge insensitive when I say this, but I couldn't be more excited at the opportunity to restart civilization on the new earth with a much wiser and refined notion of what it means to be a part of a society. Anyway, getting back to this end of religion as we know it, it's not just one or two, nor is it a few, but it is all of them, nearly with very few exceptions. Why is this, you ask? Well, let us start with the fairly obvious understanding that we can now verify most of history has been adulterated, fabricated, destroyed, rewritten, embellished, hidden, or just lost for whatever reason. Some disaster cycles contributed to losing a lot of it. So, due to this phenomenon alone, it has taken an immense amount of data, processing, networking in our current technological age, this information age, mind you, to uncover and piece together what the powers that be have distorted and manipulated to attempt controlling us. My biggest discoveries this week have fully verified with writing and artifacts cross culturally the evolution of specific ancient pagan space gods like Yahweh, also known as Yahweh, and Allah even are not monotheistic in any way, and they are actually monish choices of a preferred god in a pagan pantheon, demanding pagan tribute, also known as sacrifices and burnt offerings. It has become painful to watch some of these self identifying monotheists shame and condemn pagans when they themselves are pagan and engaging in pagan behaviors to this very day. What can I say? These types have warned about throwing stones at glass houses, but it is hard to tell whether power drunk zealots will see their own ass. It is just like the emperor's new clothes, except this involves forgeries of holy books and so very much more. I will do a special soon on this topic and compile a solid syllabus of recommended videos covering the Piso family's hands in drafting the New Testament and the Quran, the Jesuits meddling in Eastern religious, them old elders of that old Zion. Yeah, their manifesto plus their motives. I've got it for you. I'm going to compile it. I'm going to do a special. The truth is going to get out there. Watch. So, literally, no modern organized religion was spared by certain select groups of powerful people, tainting holy books, doctrine, or practices to assume control of the entire world. Like, they did it. And everyone, well, not everyone, or I wouldn't be telling this to you, the vast majority fell for it. And when you try to show them, they want to stick with it. So prophecies are popping off everywhere these days. The tricky part now is that some are legit and others are man-made psyops, literally. Some of these prophecies are real and recorded across many religions and are literally right on time, and others are psyops to manipulate and dupe people and take advantage of the whole situation. It is my pain and pleasure to tell you with full certainty that religion as we know it is done once everyone who is involved in organized religion has all the information used to manipulate and prey on their psyches. That whole mess is over. They overplayed their hand, and now they blew it. It hurts because I know the sting of betrayal. I am no stranger to getting burnt. But I have hope that everyone will recover and do the right thing upon finding out these newly mainstream truths. I first learned of this stuff back in college. For some sense of how mainstream this knowledge is that I'm telling you about, it is in history departments. It is in, humanities departments too. It's also archaeology. This information is there. But we know so much more now than we did even though most man-made schemes are auspiciously devolving before our very eyes, and we're going to make it devolve into the ground if we keep up the good work. Truth movement, freedom movement, you guys rock. So correcting many of these misunderstandings and adulterations used to control, divide, and weaponize our faiths, so that we're all against each other, and that shouldn't have been a part of it, can bring us all together with a new and refreshing acceptance of the many apocalyptic truths being unveiled daily. And that brings us to the end of today's show. So today's featured music present selection comes from my project, Hunter Hacks and the Western Pleasures, and it's called Channeling 1990X. It's some UK grime. It's pretty good. Homemade, handcrafted. You can find the link for this song. You can find the link for all the videos we talked about today. You can find the links for where to find me. And if you made it to the end of the show, I have a special bonus for y'all. So if you follow me on X, Tumblr, or you care to pay attention to go to the description box and take down my email. If you want to tweet at me or send me a post or send me an email and you have like a question for the show, or you want something featured on the show, or you have something like a video or something you think would contribute or help the show, please send me that information, introduce yourself, and I'd love to feature you on upcoming episodes and grow this community. Yay! So I want to thank everyone for being here with me today. And as I always like to tell you guys, definitely stay prepped, stay safe, stay awesome, be excellent to one another. And if you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe, follow, tell a friend, tell many friends. And I'll see you next time here on the Supplemental Broadcast. Burnt Kid out.